Just like that, we're going to get into Hero Select. The Tulin, like you mentioned, is going to be the first pick right away for Upsla, followed by that very special Wonder Woman.
Yeah, and they have to take Zill here, and Wonder Woman is such a good pick for side lane, but Zill is the other next best magic damage hero because he's a mage assassin. He does magic damage, and he's a good jungler. So if they don't take the Zill here and give it over and give Tulin and Zill over, that's going to be a really tough matchup for the side of the right side here.
Lubu, Lumbar picked up immediately the very quick lock-ins for Feroxx. So they know the strategy. They know what they want to have. Zuka and Thane are both going to get locked in to round out the composition.
Yeah, I really like the draft coming from the side of Upsla. This is a great... Chognar has the ability, Chaos, his Chaos ultimate basically negates all CC. So if team gets CC and they're diving, he can just ultimate and basically do damage and also counter every stun, every CC. It basically makes his team immune to CC inside that circle, and this is a really good dive composition. That's exactly what they do. They want to dive onto the Fennec and delete the marksman so they can win these fights.
All right, Sweet J. We get to have that moment that I know we all love waiting for at the beginning of every match, and that's going to be, who do you feel is going to win? You've got the picks in your hand. Who's it going to be?
Like I called it, it's going to be the team with Tulin, and it's going to be Upsla.
All right. Well, this is going to be one of the more undecided features, whether or not Suijay is going to walk away with a check mark in the win or a check mark in the loss column. But we want to know what you guys think at home as well. Make sure you kick on over to Twitter and let us know with the hashtag Valor Series who you feel is going to win, but more importantly, how you're feeling about the rest of this match broadcast as well as Season 1 of the Valor Series here in North America.
Awesome. I can't wait to see how this plays out. Tulin in the mid lane, he has such a huge spike. Once he turns level 2, he can harass and poke. And once he gets his ultimate, his Thunderbird ultimate, it's like literally a Kamehameha shot, like a Goku shooting a huge fireball at you. It has such a far range. And if he kills the hero, it gets an 80% cooldown reduction, and it allows him to do it again in just a few seconds.
Well, with that, we are going to keep you waiting no longer. It's going to be the third quarterfinal of the 4 that we have available for you today. It's the Valor Series presented by AT&T. It's going to be Upsla taking on Feroxx on the battlefield.
Yeah, let's see if they're going to invade here. And Team Feroxx looks like they want to invade. They want blood. They want to get the blue. And a lot of teams set up for the blue because when you take the blue, it gives you an advantage because it gives a cooldown reduction, allowing you to rotate and quickly clean up your jungle. And looks like the invade is going to happen. They're going to go straight for the blue. Team Upsla is going to give that up and go ahead and continue and maybe potentially counter jungle here with the Tulin going over to the enemy side blue jungle. Yep, Tulin and Thane and Zephyrs are rotating up. Perfect trade here. This is exactly what you want to do when invade happens and you know you can't contest it.
And so with that, we're going to have a nice little invade here coming from the side of Upsla, but it's going to be an immediate battle. The 3-man knockup coming out of Zaxa. He's going to force the other members of Feroxx to get back towards that middle lane tower. Andy God finds himself a little bit too far out and finds himself in a pit of death as Courage is able to take that down. The other members of Upsla are going to have to be forced to disengage.
Yeah, very nice play there by Feroxx there. They're being the more aggressive team, and normally in the early game, the team that's more aggressive and decisive and initiates dishing out the damage first is the team that's going to come out ahead, and that's exactly what happened in this simple skirmish here. So now they have about a 200 gold lead. They need to again convert this into taking the Bat Sentinel. It's going to spawn in about 10 seconds here, and the team that's able to exert dominance over these key objectives is the team that normally comes out ahead.
Coming up on the 2-minute mark, the important timer to make sure that we note Arena of Valor, a much faster-paced MOBA that we have here in the mobile esports world. You've got the Sentinel that is spawned, as well as the 2-minute mark now. You have the Abyssal Dragon, which is an extremely important objective because it provides gold as well as experience for you and the rest of your team.
Yeah, and Upsla is able to take the Spirit Sentinel, and then now Feroxx is trying to rotate and then trade for the Dragon, which is actually a really good play by both teams here. And you see the level up that they get from taking Abyssal. The Abyssal Dragon gives your team experience and gold for killing it. The Bat Sentinel only gives gold to your team. So the Abyssal Dragon is a more important objective to take, and Feroxx is able to take the Dragon over the Bat.
And so Now we're going to have ourselves a little bit extra of a reset. Zuka going to decide to go back. That's going to be Neo being forced to walk back into the lane. God going to catch Chamu and get that vision. Remember, there is no utility vision outside of that vision bird, so you're going to have to be forced to face check. And if you don't have any members of your team, you better make sure that you know where everybody else is at.
Yeah, this is why you see what Chamu is doing with Lumbar as the support. You want to be in the bushes constantly to give your team that vision, that information, because heroes like Lindis and heroes like Max can give vision using their abilities, but there's no type of mechanic like a flare or a scout that you can place or ward to give you vision. You have to get in the bush first.
Meanwhile, Friend was taken down earlier by Flowery. As a result, Numbers and Chamu and the rest of their team are going to try to get themselves a little bit helped out. Courage is going to be doing a little bit of poke. Flower, meanwhile, firing himself up on the bottom side of that map, and this is that aggression that we were talking about. Both of these teams working on the bottom side of the map to try to get themselves a little bit of extra pressure.
Yeah, Zephy's, once he turns level 4, he's a force to be reckoned with. He gets his Death from Above ultimate unlocked. It has a very low cooldown. Once he gets a level 3 on that, it's a 12-second cooldown. Look at Zuka there, coming in and bursting down the Finnick. A nice jungle rotation is made by the side of Upsla.
Meanwhile, Courage is going to have to be forced to use that ultimate to get himself out and alive. That is going to be a successful effort now, but look at the 3-man stun coming out of Friend. The rest of Feroxx are coming to follow. Numbers is coming up on the backside. That Lubu, we know the damage that he can create, but regardless, another member is going to go down. That's 2, rather. Flowery picking up Courage. It's going to be a 2-for-1 in favor of Feroxx.
Wow, what a nice counter. You know, they lost, the Finnick was killed, and then Feroxx then all decided to rotate and collapse and get some kills, and that kept them in the lead here with 800 gold lead. So really nice decisive call by Feroxx there to then punish Upsla for staying in the jungle for too long.
As we're now up on the 4.5-minute mark, the second Abyssal Dragon is ready to be taken, and that's going to go into the hands of Feroxx. Again, 2 Abyssal Dragons pre the 5-minute marks. That's allowed them to secure a 1.3 thousand gold lead here just before the 5-minute mark, as we're seeing now 4 members roaming around, and it has all been on the backs of the teamwork that they have provided. You've got a little bit of damage coming out of Antigod, but it's not going to be enough. Here goes Friend on the backside. A 4-man knockup is going to rock the members.
The protection came out by Chognar. The chaos protection negated that knockup and allowed the team to continue that engage. What a beautiful play by Upsla God there, by canceling the Lumber ultimate, using chaos protection, and jumping on the enemy heroes.
And every member of Feroxx that was in that battle was defeated. They had 1 left alive. Numbers was in the top lane by himself, and that's going to provide so much of an advantage.
Yeah, what a great play there. And you can see now Upsla is going to take the advantage here. However, there's no way for them to take a tower. They do take the blue tower. They do take the bottom tower, though, with Chognar. So that's a really good play and trade there for both teams. So they're now even on the tower trade.
And so now you're going to have another kill going out into Numbers. And I believe we're going to have a replay available of that last fight, because that 4-man knockup was absolutely unstoppable by God.
Yeah, and look at this. The knockup comes up, and watch Chognar. He has an ultimate called Chaos Protection, which basically cancels out any CC. The knockup comes out, and he turns it on, and the team's right back in the battle. I mean, that was an amazing counterplay by Chognar. This is why Chognar is such a good hero to work around.
When everyone is firing on the same meter, good things are going to happen, but there's no short of action here on the Antares battlefield. It's going to be Numbers all in the back by himself. Lubu is going to get ripped from the battlefield. His death timer is going to start ticking. You're going to have to be a heal forced out of the multiple members, and that's going to be the members of Feroxx being forced to run away.
You saw what Upsla did. Lubu was out of position, so as soon as they saw him out of position, the entire team then just collapses on him, because the rest of Feroxx is running away from this fight. And look at this other engage here. Zeo decides to go in, and then he gets CC'd and killed by the Thane. So really nice job by Team Upsla with these rotations and team fight decisiveness.
10-4, 16,000 to 3.5 is the advantage Upsla over Feroxx. But Upsla, while they were down 2 Abyssal Dragons, it's the early fights that have pulled themselves off to secure the lead that they have. 2 towers to 1. They now secure an Abyssal Dragon in their favor. And as we come up on the 7-minute mark, it is now all about the Dark Slayer that's on the map.
Yeah, it is. And look at the gold lead now. Upsla has a huge advantage. And if a Tulin gets ahead of your team, that's going to spell a lot of trouble on the side of Feroxx here. And you have a Chognar that can just disengage the Lumbar Earth Shatter ultimate, which is going to give them a really tough time. And then you have a Thane you have to worry about as well. Wow, look at that dodge there. That Zeo Courage barely got out of that alive. If he did not do that wind shift in time, Thane would have got him, and that would have been a really bad situation for him.
So now we pull ourselves into the rotational aspect of this game, ensuring that everyone wants to make sure that they can get as many turns they need, but it's going to be another Flowery is going to rip onto the Fennec, and there's nothing that he's going to be able to do, but he's going to go down as well. Zuka picking up the kill onto Lubu, and now Chamu's the last one left alive. Zuka, he's going to dodge, he's going to move, he's got the moves indeed.
Yeah, and you saw Neo, he waited for his passive, which is the Chi from Panda. When Panda has the passive up, the next attack does 15 to 20% damage amplification. It just deleted Lumbar, who's the tanky support. So really nice play by Neo here.
And so now the Spirit Sentinel is going to go down. The members of Upsla are going to reallocate their resources back towards that top lane. There's one more outer turret left remaining. It's going to go down with ease. And that's going to be the outer ring available, which is going to give them plenty of opportunity to invade into that jungle.
Yeah, and I love that Zuka is being played so much more often in NA here. He is an underrated hero, I believe. His kit is so strong. He's mobile. He does a lot of AoE damage. He has an AoE stun. He has a knock-up. He can jump around and get to the back line. He has a damage amp passive. I mean, Zuka is a very good hero, and I love seeing Neo play him right now.
But the members of Feroxx are not the ones done dying just yet. Andy God going to pick up that kill onto numbers. Chamu's going to be forced to run away and get the hell out of dodge as Zuka is coming in onto the mats. He's only got a staff, but that is one quick Panda. He's going to be able to pick up another kill. Indeed, 2 members lurking under that middle turret, but it looks like the members of Upsla want to go in and finish off that kill. You can see Friend going to not go down. The last auto attack from Thane's sword not going to be enough, but the tower for take.
Yeah, I really like this draft. Zephy's death from above, and you have the Panda's ultimate, both 2 AoE stuns, and you have Chognar who can slow the enemy once he gets up to them with his, and also negate any CC with Chaos Protection, and he can do energy surges that slow down enemy team and does damage. This is a very good composition for 2 divers like Azuka and a Zephy, and then the 2 lane just comes in and cleans up. I mean, this is exactly how they want to play. The Thane can go in and front line or put someone in a really bad position, and then also Thane has a really good ultimate where when the enemy team is low on health, it takes away percentage HP.
Meanwhile, we had another kill being picked up there. We had Neo on that absolutely fantastic Panda. Is doing everything he can. Zuka, the mobility, the assassination, but more importantly, the skill of proficiency that Neo is able to provide 6, 1, and 5 here just 10 minutes in.
Yeah, exactly. And that mobility, that damage burst coming out, along with the Thane combo, was a composition that was played in Southeast Asia a lot. Thane was really popular with like Genji on the team SMG, who they're very well known in SEA. The reason why Thane is so good with Assassins is because Assassin takes all the damage, puts all the damage out, and his ultimate Excalibur does 15% of the target's lost HP as physical damage. So the lower HP you have, and you get hit by a Thane ultimate, you are in big trouble because you're losing 15% of that lost HP as damage.
Nothing is more terrifying than being low on HP and seeing that greatsword fall straight towards your character.
Yeah, and it's an AoE too, so he can literally wipe a team out if the whole team is low, like 20% health or less. If that lands on an entire enemy team, Thane can literally just wipe out their entire team.
And so now we're at 11 minutes in the game, and this is where Upsla has the opportunity to push themselves off and secure the biggest and best objective, which is going to be that core in the middle of the base. But they have to go through the 3 high ground turrets first, as we're going to see the turtling defense come out of Feroxx. They're going to have to be forced to go and back off themselves a little bit. A great effort by Upsla to continue to keep these minions pushed up in all the ways. You can see Neo with that Zuka on the top lane. They're going to be pushing off, and you're going to have everyone floating towards the top side of the map, potentially going for that top high ground turret.
Yeah, so what they want to do is they want to organize the waves. They want to have all 3 waves crashing in at roughly the same pace and the same time, because that allows them to see which tower is less defended, and they can then attack and rush that tower to push it down. That's what you see a lot of people do in other MOBAs. Once the waves are organized, they can do that, but it looks like Upsla is not going to do that, and they're opting to go for the Darkslayer instead.
I like the patience that they're providing right now. They understand that while they have lots of advantages, 9,000 gold, it's the Darkslayer that's going to be able to put them over the mark against Feroxx. They're going to be able to take that down with these. You're going to have a little bit of zone out by Zaxia, but instead, he's going to decide to re-engage. He gets himself a double knockup. Andy God sitting on the back line, kiting off against numbers. God is going to be able to pick up that kill. Courage, Chamu team, and Friend are down. The only one left remaining is going to be that Fennec, but he's nowhere in sight. The rest of his team falls off the mark, and that's going to be big death timers for the members of Feroxx.
He just said, bye-bye, team. You're fighting. I'm gone. I'm running away. Fennec needed to be in the fight because Fennec is their damage dealer. He has 3 tier 3 items, but he needed to be in that fight to help them win that fight. Unfortunately, they were not able to capitalize. The Darkslayer got Upsla pretty low, but oh my god, look at that dive there. Getting the Finnick on the backline. This should be the game.
Yeah, there's not much that they're going to be able to do now. It's 1, it's 2. They want to go ahead and get the clean sweep of the high ground turrets. It's going to be the 3-tap coming out of the staff from Neo, and just like that, it's going to be Upsla falling a little bit further, but they're going to go up, 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 and away and win that game against Feroxx.
Yeah, and I told you, the one with the Tulin is going to win. But Tulin actually didn't do that much. The Zuka and God on Chognar was godly with his ultimate, his Chaos Protection. He literally won them that mid-game fight. That was a key fight that turned it around because Upsla was losing. They're losing the early game, and Feroxx looked really, really good.
Earlier in the game, it was Feroxx that was taking the advantage. They were pushing against the aggressiveness nature that we've seen many teams in Arena of Valor push for, but it was the side of Upsla that end up pushing it away. You can see Neo 7, 1, and 8 on that Assassin Panda Zuka, and that in and of itself is a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, he did such a good job, but the Thane with 15 assists, setting up plays for his team, but you can see the damage that Zuka was able to contribute, the most damage with the AoE damage that he has, the damage amp from his Chi passive. I mean, Neo did such a phenomenal job on this Zuka.
And you have to ask yourself, what else can Feroxx do? Because you take a look at the draft, yes, clearly you had the Tulin go over into favor of Upsla, but that doesn't mean that you had a weak composition from the side of Feroxx.
No, yeah, Feroxx actually did really well, especially the early game. Finnick needed to participate more in these fights. They needed to rotate and protect him. There was one point in the game where Upsla rotated to the top red side jungle and basically ganked him and killed him in jungle, and then Feroxx turned around by collapsing. So I think in this game, you know, the Finnick needs to contribute more in the fights because his damage to heroes ratio was pretty low compared to the rest of his team.
Well, they're going to get an opportunity to recoup, reset, and hopefully tie this match up. But let's go a step further into this first match, Upsla versus Feroxx. We've got a couple replays available, and the first one that I want to talk about, it's about 7.5 minutes into the game, and it's where Upsla severely dominated on that top side of the map.
Yeah, they did such a good job here. Look at how tight they're rotating. Lubu goes in with his ultimate. You want to do that because he gets a lot of lifesteal, a lot of attack speed, but it's just not enough there. They don't have enough damage. They're behind items, and they're not able to secure these kills. And then look at Neo. He has his passive up. He jumps in, does a ton of burst damage, and boom, Lumbar is gone underneath his tower.
That is one mobile, agile, and efficient killer of a Panda. Neo doing absolute work. We're going to go and roll the second replay now. It's the last team fight, which at this point, it was essentially over, but it still shows the strength of every member of Upsla.
This is where they could turn around. Finnick is with the team. They're all together. Finnick needed to be in this fight and focusing the front line. But Finnick is not really in this fight. He's kind of late. The fight is happening. He's running away, and nothing's happening. And then Upsla just takes advantage of that 5v4 with a Darkslayer buff and just deletes Feroxx like that.
All right, well, game number 1 of the 3-game series is completed. Upsla obviously taking that victory, every member contributing efficiently, but that doesn't mean that Feroxx was necessarily a weak team coming into this. So I have to ask you, what do they fix for game number 2?
I think what they need to do is do the same early game that they did before, but tighten up your mid game. You know, once Chognar was level 4, they had to predict and anticipate that he would counter the Dunbar ultimate. So they need to continue their pace in the early game and carry that to the mid and late game and stick together. They need to protect Finnick and get him fed and make sure Finnick is the one dishing the damage and they're protecting him at the same time.
Do any of the performances, because all of them, it's safe to say, were successful for the side of Upsla, do any of those performances, do any of those heroes warrant themselves a ban for the next game?
Yeah, I think for the side of Feroxx, I would ban away Zuka. Neo on Zuka looked phenomenal. He knows how to play his character. He waits in the bush. He plays Zuka like a sneaky assassin. He waits for that passive. That passive has a 20-second reset. Once he hits somebody, it takes 20 seconds for the chi to come back up, and he's using it. He's waiting it out. Once he has it up, he goes in, does the burst damage, and just runs away. That's exactly how you want to play Zuka.
All right, now let's switch over to the pick phase. Obviously, things are going to be swapped, so we're going to be able to see Feroxx taking up the blue side, and then the red side is going to be taken up by Upsla, with Feroxx having that first blue pick. Do they save the Zuka and then potentially pick it first for them, or what are they going to change coming in the blue side?
Yeah, I think they should just ban it. If they can't play it, they should ban it. If they can, maybe they should take it, but they aren't on the first pick side. So let's see if the L'Oreal and Liliana bans are going to come out. If that's the case, then they definitely need to take Tulin. Even though Tulin wasn't a big factor in this game, he did contribute a lot of damage along with the assassins. I mean, they had Zephyrs, Zuka, Tulin. That's very bursty compositions, a lot of heavy engage. So I think they need to take Tulin because Tulin is actually pretty good at being mobile and dodging some of these huge assassin players.
Picks taken off the table. Taking a look, obviously, at Upsla, who secured themselves a victory strategy-wise, explicitly in the early game where they kind of found themselves at a fault. What did they need to do to change things up and have a cleaner play?
Yeah, for the early game for Upsla, I think they need to rotate and anticipate. Feroxx was having a lot better, quicker rotation speeds because Finnick provides that. Finnick clears jungle much faster than Zephyrs, so they need to anticipate that and expect that the enemy team is going to get to the river before you do and not try to face check bushes without making sure the enemy is not there. So I think that's what happened. It caught him off guard, and then as a result, Feroxx got some nice, clean early game kills.
Well, let's go ahead. The canvas is open for game number 2. Let's go ahead and start filling in some of these statistics, and first off is going to be the bans, and just like that, Zuka still left on the table.
Yeah, Zuka. And now Tulin is banned. All the mages are banned. So this makes Chognar very, very good. He can be played mid. Preta might come out here. Preta is a good mage as well. Not as good as L'Oreal, Tulin, or Liliana. But Zeo is going to be a high priority pick because Zeo is the next burstiest and strongest mage hero, but he's a mage assassin, not a mage mid laner. But Zeo can also be played in mid. So the team that gets Zeo is going to have an upper hand here because of that pick.
I guess that begs the question, because Zuka wasn't banned, does that force Feroxx to pick that on the blue side first, or are they going to have to be forced onto that Zil?
Yeah, they need to probably take Zil away, but Zuka is a good counterplay against Zil because if Zuka gets onto the Zil first and stuns him with his ultimate and then knocks him up, Zil won't be able to do much. Zil needs to be the one initiating first and using his ult because when Zil ults, he's not targetable and he cannot be targeted at all. So that makes him less susceptible to CC when he's ulting. So he needs to do damage, get in, and get out.
All right, obviously Zuka, Zil, very important. We didn't see a Violet picked in the last game. Does Violet become a factor in game 2?
Yeah, Violet could be picked. However, if you have assassins like Zuka, Zephyrs, Zil, all these people, the Zs basically, the 3 Zs, they can all get to you with gap closing abilities and can get onto. So if you want to pick Violet, you need to pick some very strong peel heroes like a Thane, for example, that can help keep these assassins off the Violet.
Looking at who stepped up, looking who didn't step up, is there a specific player that you think needs to be a little bit more efficient in the way that they're playing coming from Feroxx? We'll start with them.
Yeah, I think Feroxx, their jungler needs to just play more confident, less fearful. If your team is fighting, you fight. Whatever your team does, you do. If he does that and dishes out the damage that he needs to dish out, then these fights could go in their favor.
Now, flipping it over to Upsla side, obviously, Neo and his Zuka was unbelievable, but what about the 2 gods? You've got God, you've got Anti-God. Is there anything that they're going to need to change?
Yeah, no, God needs to keep up his work with his Chognar. He's doing a lot of good counter plays. He's winning the side lane trades. He's rotating when his team needs to. God, just keep doing what you're doing with Chognar. Let's see if he's going to get the Chognar again. But I think in terms of how they're fighting late game, they need to continue to do that. But early game, they need to clean up their rotations because they did get caught up by Feroxx quite a few times there.
All right, well, we've got a little bit of lobby difficulties. We're trying to get players sorted out and figured out with that. In the meantime, we're going to go back to our replays, and we're actually going to do a little Sweej tells, Sweej shows, more importantly, Sweej telestrates. We're going to pull up in just a second that first replay, that 7.5-minute mark, coming up onto the top side of the map. And I know it was something that you were talking about earlier. The rotations of Upsla have been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see here, Lubu goes in because he has his ultimate there. This is key because he wants to do that. That's his win condition. But Fennec gets caught out here. And if we pause here, this is where the team just needs to back up. Zephyrs Zil decides to go in here, and he's already less than half health. And once Finnick dies, once an ally dies, you just need to back up. The fight is over. And what they needed to do was to disengage and not bleed any further, but instead they try to win, they try to salvage the fight. So we're going to play from here. They try to salvage the fight, and it just doesn't work out in the favor of Feroxx here. And they continue to bleed and hand over more deaths.
You take a look at the different strategies that a lot of these situations need to have as far as the replays, or as far as replays go on this. Is there any more efficient way that we can see Upsla maybe capitalize on these fights a little bit faster? Obviously, the disengage, re-engage was an issue sometimes, especially in the early game. How can they clean up their fights?
Yeah, I think what they did is they basically looked at the mistakes that Feroxx was making. In this team fight that we just watched, Lu Bu goes in solo. Even though he has his ultimate, makes him tanky, he has a lot of life steal, more attack speed. But when he does it and he's distracting the team, your entire team needs to be there to then dish out the damage while you're distracting and you're absorbing all the damage. Because that's what Lu Bu is good at doing. He's good at distracting. When he ultimates, the Conqueror ultimate makes him super tanky because of his life steal and his attack speed. He just steals a lot of life and distracts the enemy so that your teammates can then get some kills while you absorb the damage. And that's what Feroxx needs to do better, and Upsla just needs to take advantage of the mistakes that Feroxx is making.
All right, well, just like that, the hero select is up and available. It's going to be Feroxx on the blue side, Upsla on the red, and that was not the first pick that we were expecting.
No,
It's
so
going to be a
Zale is
Wonder
going to
Woman.
probably go over to the side of Upsla here. If they do play the Zale, they're going to pick up that Zale, and this is a really tough draft now for the side of Feroxx. The Lombard is open, Lu Bu is taken. Lu Bu is a really strong side laner, and that gives really, like, Zale can also side lane. You know, he's really flexible there. And Kirknack is such a good pick here because Kirknack counters Lu Bu's tankiness because he does percentage health damage. Jinnar is interesting. Jinnar is an anti-dive hero. So now, since they know that they have the Jinnar, they're going to pick a Joker to poke and a Chognar again, most likely on God.
And so you already see the power picks coming out for the side of Upsla. You don't have that Zuka as a priority pick just yet. It will fall down. Mina and Ryoma picked up here. We saw the Mina, definitely a North American pick. And, ooh, the Crest. We saw the Crest as a first pick in Europe. But now that's going to get locked in, and look at the team fight power that you have in the pockets of Upsla.
Yeah, so with Zale being picked up, Joker basically looks really delicious. The reason why, because Zale can single target focus, go in the backline and focus Joker. Jinnar is a mage that does AoE. He excels when people bunch up around Jinnar. He cannot target focus a Joker. So Joker is looking really good because he's immune to physical damage when he does his second ability, pick a card, any card, for 2 seconds. So that makes him extremely deadly against some of these attack damage heroes that he has, like the Kirknack, the Ryoma, because they are able to do damage to him when he activates that ability.
And with the amount of CC and just area of effect damage that he has as a backup in his team composition, he also has the opportunity to, if he gets himself caught out, that immunity will allow him to get out of the team fight to allow his team to come help him out.
And Crash, his ultimate metamorphosis, when he metamorphoses and transforms, he shoots a wave out. And if you're caught in the wave and you hit the end of the wave, you get stunned. He gets a speed buff, and then while he's in metamorphosis, any abilities he uses, he slows you for 50% for 2 seconds, and that allows his team to just jump on whoever Crash is on. So Crash is a really good peel hero that can protect a Joker, for example, if they try to dive the Joker.
All right, flipping it over onto the side of Feroxx. They picked the Wonder Woman first. Does that make or break their strategy?
It's good because she's strong in side lane, so they need to win the side lane with the Wonder Woman, and Ryoma is really strong in side lane as well. It's just that they're heavy engage comp, and Upsla has picked some heavy counter engage, like a Chognar and a Crash, some of the best heroes when it comes to counter engaging and peeling for a Joker.
And so now, as we are finally back onto the Antares battlefield, it's going to be game number 2. Upsla whoop 1 game over Feroxx, 1 win away from securing themselves a win, a match set, and a ticket to the semifinals on Saturday here for week number 1 in the Valor series.
Yeah, we're going to see who's going to invade here. It looks like Team Upsla is going to do that invade and try to get the blue here. And let's see if Flowery is going to be able to secure the blue golem.
So just like that, you're going to have that little bit of a delayed entry. The level 1s are great. Flowery's going to be able to end up picking up that Sage buff, which is going to have all of the engage that they want to do. Zach's a very, very low. He's going to be able to barely come out alive, but a successful invade.
Yeah, and as soon as he takes the Sage buff, he gets level 2. That's really important. That's why these buffs are so highly contested in the first rotation. They give a significant amount of experience to a level 1 hero.
And so now We are starting to get to the lanes. Everyone is trying to figure out where it is they want to go. Chamu getting a little bit of vision control with that Mina, going to be able to catch out God. And whoa, we weren't expecting that one. Yeah. It's our first solo kill in the top lane of the day.
Neo is the player to watch on Upsla. He's making so many plays on the Zuka and now on this Lubu. Wow, he is really, really showing off his talent today.
And so with that, it's going to be a kill. Neo flexing the muscles on the Zuka. Now he's flexing his muscles on the Lubu. That's going to also allow them to two-man get themselves close and take this first Sentinel.
Yeah. So now Upsla has a nice 500 gold lead. They're going to start posturing towards the Dragon here because Dragon is in play. This is when you tell your team, hey guys, Dragon side is in play. We need to make sure we posture or we position to not let the enemy team get a free Dragon.
The early Abyssal Dragon spells disaster for the team that does not acquire them because the extra gold, the extra experience, and all the goodies that it contains is certainly a valuable aspect for both of these teams. Courage is going to be lurking in the bush, but now Neo, he's going to be roaming down on the bottom side. The rest of his team is going to rotate up to follow. Is he going to be able to survive? He's got just enough of a shield surge. Courage is going to low. He's going to go into stasis, and he's going to be able to stop that. Jin are not going to be able to get enough. He's going to end up going down. Neo barely survives by the skin of his teeth, and the other members of Upsla are disengaged, but that's 2 kills for their team.
Yeah, I mean, Neo, again, just baited him. That's what you want Lubu to do. He basically baited him, got himself low, and he ulted using Conqueror. That's a power-up for Lubu. Gives him extra attack damage, extra lifesteal, and gives resistance for 8 seconds. It makes him extra tanky, and then now, because of that play, they get the kills, take the Dragon, and now they're in a healthy lead.
And the best part about this Upsla squad as well is all the kills aren't being funneled into one singular individual. You've got 3 kills in 3 different people, but now Chamu is going to go down. A great little transformation there by the Tresk, and now you're going to be able to see the members of Upsla continue to take advantage. 2 kills are in their pocket. 3, no, make that 4. Is that going to be 5? And the clean ace it is. Ultimate going by Flowery, and just like that, it turned on its head, and Upsla is in control.
Yeah, Zycia on that crash, he landed a beautiful Metamorphosis ultimate. That wave pushed the enemy team, Feroxx team, into the wall. He got stunned by the end of the wave, and then the team then jumped in and deleted them so quickly. What a great play by the Crash here. Perfect positioning on that ultimate.
And so now, already finding themselves up 2,500 gold at the 4-minute mark. You're going to have one, like we said, Abyssal Dragon already going into their favor. It's going to be respawning in 50 seconds. The next Spirit Sentinel is sitting there at about 50% HP. Neo not wanting to overcommit. I love the patience, but more importantly, the knowledge that the members of Feroxx are going to be in their way.
Yeah, they are. Neo is just playing really, really conservatively here. Oh, he goes in for the knockup, and then they go back to focus on Friend here. And let's see if they're able to do enough damage. Look at how tanky that Wonder Woman is.
Flowery is lurking into this bush. He hasn't shown himself just yet, but the members of Feroxx know that he has to be nearby. Upsla members are going to disengage. You're going to see Neo float himself back towards the top side of the map, secure himself that damage, as now 2 members are floating towards the bottom side of the map. Make that 3 to see if they can potentially get themselves a kill.
Yeah, this is a huge gold lead, and you can see they're posturing towards the Dragon side again. Their map dominance is being exerted here, and they're waiting for the Dragon to spawn, and they're going to try to rush it and rotate on top of it. Look at the positioning of the Crash. This is a great support here. He's giving a lot of vision for his team to see what the movement of the enemy team is, and as soon as he loses that position, he just jumps out to safety.
It is all about the knowledge of the enemy teams in this situation, making sure that they can collapse exactly when they need, and there's a little bit of a collapse. All 5 members are in the mid lane. That tower is going to have to be the line of scrimmage because neither one of these teams are wanting to get themselves off onto that mark. The tower making sure it does a lot of damage. The second Abyssal Dragon is going to be taken, secured, and dominated by Upsla.
Yeah, and look at Chognar building the Orb of Magi. That's going to allow him to stack. As a unique passive, 30 seconds, it stacks up and it gives him ability power over time. The longer he has it, the stronger it gets. So that's a carry Chognar, not a support Chognar build there. So God is looking to do some damage with the abilities coming off from Chognar.
I also have to comment on that Crash skin. It's not the normal scary sea monster that you're used to seeing. Having a little bit of advanced technology at his disposal makes things a little bit better, as Neo is going to secure himself another kill. Wonder Woman turns to dust as that Lubu is definitely taking over.
Yeah, Lubu is one of the strongest side laners in the game. That's why you see him picked so often, not only in NA, EU, but also in South Air. Oh, and God gets killed by Numbers here. Numbers is trying to carry on this Ryoma.
And so just like that, it's going to be continued dominance by Upsla. You talked about in the previous segment that Upsla needed to fix their early game. They needed to have more coagulated decisions. That's exactly what they're doing right now. They've secured themselves that 4,000 gold lead, and it's not looking pretty for Feroxx.
Yeah, it is not looking pretty at all. But Numbers is trying to get the tower here. He's not going to be able to make it out. Ryoma does not have the best escape. He only has one jump. So as soon as he uses the jump, he's pretty much dead meat if you're going to try to track him down.
So now we're just over the 7-minute mark. 6 minutes is when the Dark Slayer spawns, and so it's going to be up and ready if either one of these teams wants to have it. And look at the damage that Neo is providing. Courage is going to go down to God, however. That Jin are not doing anything else to help out that team. Zax is going to be able to pop that ultimate. Chamu's going to go down as well. First lane, middle turret, a double kill for the Joker. Friend is going to be the next to fall. Wonder Woman is not saving any lives today because the members of Upsla.
They won the fight and they saved that Siege Minion. The Siege Minion is a key pushing mechanic there. Once the Siege Minions are up, you have to protect it because it takes the towers a little longer to kill that Siege Catapult Minion. And they won the fight with it and used that one Siege Minion with half health to take down the tower, mid tower.
So with 2 of the 3 outer turrets gone and off the mark, that's 7,500 gold supporting Upsla's lead right now. 2 towers to none, 2 Abyssal Dragons. Lubu taking themselves another Spirit Sentinel, and there has not been a single ounce, a single inch of this map that Upsla has not been controlling.
Yeah, they're playing so well right now. Neo is really setting up plays for them, rotating really well, just dominating the top sector of his map and rotating to mid to make plays for his team. Really good job by Neo playing a lot of these mobile heroes like the Lubu and Zuka.
So now we have a little bit of a slower moment, but that doesn't mean that the domination is not still continued by Upsla. The next Abyssal Dragon is going to go down. You've got Zaxa. He's going to get zoned out by that Crash. Numbers is going to go on the bot side with that Ryoma to try to get things out. But now 4 of the 5 members from both of the teams are towards the top side of the map. It's going to be a contest for the Sage buff. It does indeed go over onto Flower. Courage and Chamu are being forced to run away. This jungle is ours, say Upsla. All your base belong to me.
Look at that poke damage coming from Joker there. Almost killing Courage. He has to back to get home. And now they're going to make a push onto the mid wave here. They're posturing towards this mid tower because they have a Siege Minion coming right down. And look at that. They're able to take the tower so quickly. And then Joker is able to jump in, get the stun on Chamu, but he does not get the kill.
Isn't able to get the snipe from the rocket, and so they're going to have to be forced to disengage a little bit. Friend, why? No friends. He's going to go down. Numbers going to be short to follow. God going with his name send. Courage going to go down 2. That's going to be 3 members of Feroxx down and available. Chamu, as well as his counterpart on the Crickneck, aren't going to be able to do anything for a support. The bottom lane high tower is down, and that looks like it's going to be the mid lane high defense tower as well. And with
look
that,
at the amount of damage coming off from Zill here. And nice stun there by the Joker with the canister ultimate there. He basically jumps towards his target, wraps a canister of laughing gas on them. They get stunned, and then they get an explosive damage from the canister, and the damage kills. Gets the kill.
14,000 gold in favor of Upsla. We talked about things they needed to fix. They fixed it and proved a point here in Game 2.
Yeah, they definitely did. Their team fighting and their positioning, their objective calls have been really, really great in this game. They did not give up the early game like they did last game, and now they're just completely dominating Team Feroxx.
The Dark Slayer goes down, and it seems all but inevitable for the side of Red. Upsla have been absolutely dominating every single member, ensuring that they stay themselves involved. It has been an unbelievable effort by them.
Yeah, very good effort. And look at that. Anticon comes in, Chaos Protection gets put on, and look at the amount of damage, and the Curse Ultimate misses. But wow, look at the amount of damage coming out from the side of Team Upsla, cleaning up and getting 4 kills so easily.
So just like that, it was one after another, and Upsla rose to the equation. We said up, and away. First it's the sky, now the sky is nothing but the limit because it's going to be the victory for Upsla.